Tuperos y tuperas today on Dupe by the River. I know it's not Tuesday, but we're back again. Because why? Because the Philadelphia Union made history again. They are on to this next round of CONCACAF Champions League. We're going to look back at last night's big victory by our Philadelphia Union. We're also going to be looking ahead. We're looking at the MLS opener for your Philadelphia Union against the Columbus Crew. And don't go anywhere, guys, because you do not want to miss this episode of Dupe by the River. And let's get this started, guys. Dale. And that is right. Welcome, everyone, to Dupe by the River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union, brought to you by Philly Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome all to Dupe by the River, whether you're coming from YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Thank you so much for tuning on in. And without further ado, let me introduce to you guys my panel of expert Union podcasters. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we got Aurelian Colin lookalike who got some minutes last night, a.k.a. Mr. Justin Freiberg. Justin, what's going on, man? We did it, baby!
Yeah, man, that was a electric atmosphere.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Even for the limited fans, that was a fun experience. And it was, after having not been inside the stadium for a year and a half, you go back to that 2019 Red Bull playoff game, it just felt something different, just being back there and seeing everyone, and it felt great, man. I honestly didn't have a voice most of this day. That's how you know you've had a good game.
Same. I think most of the Union fans can understand where we're coming from. A lot of tea was sipped on this today by your boy here. But no, I agree with you. It was a fun, electric atmosphere. Like I said, I thought that I was going to be emotional last night because it was such a historical moment. But I just had way too much fun to even get to that point. So definitely a lot of fun. And of course, guys, you know my man, Mr. Tim Loving-Goo. Tim, what's going on, baby?
Not much, man. I mean, that was an electric win last night. It's great to be back in the stadium once again, running the Dupe by the River Twitter account. Always love being there, getting that atmosphere, getting those videos and pics up there.
You did a great job, by the way.
The goal celebrations, always some of my favorite stuff to do is, I mean, when you do that sort of thing, you kind of lose the moment of kind of going crazy, but you get to capture everyone else's candid moments, which is something I really cherish. So it's fun to see that and see people like that on social media. So it's a fun time.
I will say I do agree with you. So last year, or 2019, the last time I was able to do vlogs consistently, I would have my GoPro and I would always have it on. It's tough with the cell phone, and I agree with you, but still, just hearing that song and everyone erupt, it's always definitely great. This episode, guys, is definitely gonna be a little really self-explanatory today. We're really just diving into last night's match. Just really, looking at it from all angles. And then we're also going to look ahead because the Union have more soccer. We're going in the full circle. This is the first week. We're putting it in the first gear for the Union season. But let's start off with the Saprissa match. Obviously, last night, heading into it, the Union were up 1-0 on aggregate. Literally, all they had to do was a 0-0 draw, and that was enough to punch your ticket to the next round of this tournament. But once that match started, there was something with the Philadelphia Union that was just clicking. Jim got these guys ready. Those guys were aggressive. They started off quickly. They were clicking on all cylinders. And it was unfortunate in the first half that they didn't score a goal because they deserved it. They played really well. But right off the bat in that second half, the goals galore. Font drew the penalty in the box, and Jamiro got the goal. And then it just kept going. And the Union finished with 4-0 scoreline, beating Deportivo Saprissa, 5-0 total aggregate. And wow, I'm so speechless. It's wild too. We all know that right before the season, right before that first Saprissa match, the state of the fans was, we're freaking out. We haven't bought anyone, and everyone's buying people, and we're not going to beat Saprissa. We're not going to beat anyone this year. and they shocked the world by taking it to Saprissa. It was definitely a great match. So before we dive into this game, I just wanted to touch upon something I noticed last night. So in the stands, there was a lot of Saprissa fans. The Saprissa fans traveled long and hard for this match here. And even though their team has not been performing up to par, 9-game winless streak, now 10 games, they showed up in numbers. And they showed up well represented. And I will say it was definitely cool to see as someone who's a Colombian soccer fan. I loved it. However, it did have a little bit of a bone to pick with the Saprissa fans. Look, you guys know me. This shirt right here, this is not a Union shirt, but this shirt to me means a lot. Okay, I get it. I 100% get it. But at the end of the day, I'm from this area. I'm from Philadelphia. So during the summer times, why not go to Chester and celebrate soccer in Philadelphia? That's all I was saying. That's all I was just trying to say. You guys know me. I want Chester to be more diverse. I want to be able to party with my Mexicanos, party with my black brothers and sisters. I want it diverse. I want to celebrate all soccer culture. That's the beauty of this sport. That's why Tim, Justin, and I dedicate so much time to the sport, because of moments like that. So, Saprissa fans, if you guys do know a Saprissa fan, or if there's a Saprissa fan listening to this, you're welcomed. You are more than welcome. Subaru Park is your home, and you don't have to come when Saprissa comes here to play. Your MLS club can be right here. But I will give them credit because, guys, I mean, I think you guys saw too. There was a Saprissa fan in your section. Guy didn't know the rules of the River's End. Did you guys did they escort them? Were you guys able to see that?
I didn't see if anyone got escorted out. When I came in, there were some people in Saprissa jerseys trying to go what looked like down the tunnel to see the players as they're about to come out onto the field. But I didn't see anyone trying to get into the river end. I don't know if Justin did.
Actually, they were about 3 rows behind me. And there was one guy in a Saprissa jersey, one woman with a Costa Rican flag. And security came on pretty quick and just said, like, hey, like, this is the supporter section. Like, you gotta, you either gotta change a jersey or we gotta move you to a different section.
But they understand that too, though.
Yeah, they seem to understand it pretty quickly. It didn't seem like they were putting up much of a fuss, but yeah,
I don't know how Costa Rica works, but I know in Colombia, you know, there's one little tiny section for the away team. Everyone else in the stadium should not be wearing the opposing color. But I mean, I don't know how Costa Rica works, but it's definitely interesting to see that. Absolutely. All right, so let's get in right to this match. So with the lineup, pretty much the same thing. We got literally the thing that we saw last Wednesday. And I was a little worried, honestly. I was like, we're getting the same lineup. This team has some tape on us, this lineup. But it worked. Those guys they gained chemistry last Wednesday, and they brought it back to this one. Justin, what did you think of Jim's starting 11 for this match?
Yeah, so we were all in the, at least most of us were in the Sons of Ben Law doing a little informal tailgate. And when it got announced that the lineup was about the same, I went, okay. Like, I didn't think anything of it because it was like, it worked well. And as I said before, like, Leon had a great first leg. And that was the one thing I said in the pregame, and the show on Tuesday was, well, Leon had a really good game. So, okay, Sergio is healthy, but are you really going to take out Leon? And it was a clear answer, no. And honestly, it was probably one of the best decisions because once again, Leon had a fantastic game. I mean, my God, he was breaking up passes. He played some great through balls, and he was just all over. He had so much energy and had a great soccer IQ in terms of picking his head up and finding that good pass. And you know what? Yeah, and by the way, Jamiro, I had this conversation with Justin over from Views from the Bridge on Twitter
Shouts to
about
views.
how Jamiro might be one of the more underrated tens in the league, and I think he got overshadowed last year because obviously he was playing in the shoulder role, and yeah, he's gonna be playing mostly in the shoulder role if Fontana is your 10. But I think he's one of the more underrated midfielders in the league because you saw what he's capable of when he's now. It's been the big thing. It's been consistency,
Yeah.
but you see what he brings. I mean, he's got that pace. He's got the the athleticism, and he's got the soccer IQ to pick out these passes, to make the runs, to do these 1-2 combinations and play people in. That's huge. And I said this before, and I said it in my predictions. The Union's midfield, I think, will be the biggest determining factor in how far this team goes. And I know they didn't sign that attacking, that goal scoring attacking mid that everyone's been clamoring. And oh my God, it's all over. Doom and gloom. Throw in the season. We're reinvesting it back in the academy. And oh my God, all the fans are mad because it's now the. Tim McDermott may have picked a poor choice of words.
Yeah.
And I understand what the idea was. He just really, really did not pick great words. But the idea was, listen, you've had all this money you've put in. You're reinvesting back into the academy to generate more of these players. But you're making half decent stuff. I mean, Jamiro was breaking the transfer record for this club. And it's clear the Union can do those mid-level signings. We don't need that. People said, "Oh, we need that name to really make." No, that's not what this team is about. I understand getting a bigger name might generate more, but in terms of on-the-field performance, the Union seemed to get by with mid. Again, who would have thought picking up another 20-year-old defensive midfielder would have been a great signing out of the gate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild to think. And honestly, I think the midfield was really the driving force behind this victory because without them, I don't think that. I think Saprissa actually gets possession of the ball because the Union team did straight up dominate.
Yeah, man. I that's one thing I noticed. The midfield was just taking full control. Like Saprissa really couldn't get much done there. Union creating turnovers, getting that counterattack, and those passes were crisp and precise. They wanted to attack. That was the game plan, and it was evident they wanted to attack. Tim, what'd you think of just like the lineup and I guess like what'd you think of the match there?
Yeah, I mean,
any takeaways you got?
Starting with the lineup, I thought. It's kind of classic Jim Curtin to roll with the same guys. But I honestly thought from his press conference when the way he was talking about Sergio Santos, I thought he was going to start him. So I just thought it was going to be just the one change, which is still very Jim, just to make one change. But yeah, he rolls out the same guys, and the Union have a style of play, and it looks like it doesn't matter for the most part who the players are on the field, and they're going to play that pressing style of soccer that is going to win the ball and create, quick attacks and, 1-2 passes and then there's a shot on goal. Like that's what they want to do. And they did it to perfection last night. And to Justin's point, Jamiro Montero at the 10, if he can do what he did last night, and that's kind of a hard sell just because he has been inconsistent. But if he can do that all MLS season, yeah, you're talking about a guy who could actually be a really good number 10. And I think it'll be interesting to see what happens for the Union right now going into the MLS season. Do they play Jamiro at the 10? Do they move him back to the shuttler position and play Fontana at the 10? There's all of these players who can play different positions now, which it causes good problems for a coach like Curtin. So he'll make the right decisions there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's been really fun to see them beat up on a team like Saprissa.
Any word on this one, guys? I'm sorry.
I believe isn't the
Fox?
Gambler.
Yeah, the Gambler Fox.
PJ PJ, if you had problems during yesterday and last Wednesday, that could be because of CONCACAF. I don't know. I mean, we wish we
I
could
don't
call
think they
Sean
have
right
it.
now, but
I think if it's through CONCACAF, I think they don't think they have radio broadcast for that.
Yeah.
Oh, also, by the way, that little intro video that CONCACAF had put me to sleep, and it was sucked because I was so amped up, the starting lineups and everything, and then they showed this video, and I'm like, wow, I just lost my buzz. Like, not my alcohol buzz, my energy.
CONCACAF does CONCACAF. Like
They know how to throw a wet blanket over that. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to put it.
It is. Listen, it's a crazy thing. Listen, Kata. We appreciate your love for Andre Blake, but Moose ain't bad, and we need Andre and Chester, man. Come on now. Awesome stuff. Look, like I said, the lineup. I didn't think he would go with the same thing. I mean, it was CONCACAF. I think Tim was there during the playoff game with me. Like ever since that playoff game, I think I'm a little bit on edge when it comes to matches like that. Like last night, it felt like this was the Union's win. But last time I felt like that, we all know. But no, this team it definitely came out to play. Jamiro, to me, the love he was getting was fantastic. To Justin's point, it's really tough because I guess you could potentially what you could do, and I know people don't want to hear this, is you could have Fontana come off the bench.
Yeah.
You could start Miro at the 10. Flack. The thing is, too, Flack has chemistry brewing with Kai Wagner. You saw that brewing on those two were switching off. You saw Leon working on the flank. You saw Kai move into midfield. They got that chemistry going. It's definitely a possibility. Obviously, Sergio is healthy. You want him out there.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's why I said on Tuesday that. It sucks because Fontana last year was subject, unfortunately, to Brendan having a breakout year. But this year, it feels like it's just another string of you really can you really bench Leon at this point?
No.
He's just playing too well. So then that goes, okay, well, you want Miro. You're gonna obviously Brujo and Bedoya right there. That's half your midfield. That's guaranteed that's in. And then if Leon's there, then you have Miro and Font battling for one spot. And then by the way, you still have Elsinio, you still have Quinn Sullivan, you still have Jack McGlynn and Paxton Aronson. There's all these players that you have, and I said this in my predictions that's the Jim Curtin once again has a plethora of choices, and honestly, as a coach, that's what you want. You want to have the a crazy tough decision, because otherwise, if you know who your lineup is, you don't have much depth, then you're a pretty one-dimensional team. But if you have those tough choices. And again, there's a lot of games, so there's going to be a lot of rotation. I don't doubt that. You will see several combinations of this midfield, even when you give Ali a rest, because Ali, is in his early mid-30s.
He needs it.
He needs that break. He's gonna, he's not a this young spring chicken anymore. He's been around the block, as they say. And
he's not man bun Ali no more. That's for sure.
Which, thank God, I love Ali, but that when he first came here, I was not a fan of that. He looked like your Uncle Tony working at the mechanic shop, going, hey, I'll fix your car for $500. It was just a small thing. Yeah, $500. But no, I think that the funny thing with this midfield is, because of so many choices, it's funny that we have so many choices in the midfield, but we have very limited depth at striker.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I think because of that depth in the midfield, you're going to see these guys. You're going to see a lot of false nines playing next to Casper, and I think you're going to see these guys getting rotated, through up. So I will be interested to see how Jim, because I know as much as I know Jim loves to play that similar lineups, and that's one thing I get a little frustrated with Jim at times. He's got a lot of choices, and I know he's gonna be rotating a lot. So it will be really interesting to see how this midfield is going forward.
Jim's like Mauricio Sarri. Jeez, running with the same 11.
Running with the same 11 and sticking with the same get up on the sidelines. Ever since last year, now he's got the training top, the joggers, the Yeezys.
Oh my god,
those Yeezys! That was the first time I think I saw those in person. Oh, those look nice.
As our pals the Cooligans say, the man's a sneaker. The man's got some shoe game.
Yeah,
that's what's up. That's what's up. The guy, mad respect. I say mad respect to, as we used to call him, Jimmy with the brown shoes.
Yes.
Sean, I just wanted to say thank you for giving the heads up. We agree. We think that's probably the reason why. We'll see Sunday. We have an actual MLS match, so we'll figure it out. But actually, you know what? I'm sure.
It's like weird because it's a national broadcast. I know those are.
Oh,
yeah.
Those can get weird. I think it's with the local broadcast.
Okay.
Okay. And I think we only have like 2 national TV games, as far as I'm aware. And
honestly, guys, if you guys have any questions about that, honestly, just at them on Twitter. I'm sure they'll answer.
Yeah, seriously, at Sean at Brace,
or the Fox Gambler.
Yeah, he's a knowledgeable dude. He'll
I'm sure they'll answer your question for sure. The part about Leon, 2 games, I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. Perfect, exactly what I wanted from a shuttler. It's crazy though that I really don't think he was our top. Might have not even been our top 3 choice. The fact that we had these visa situations, he was able to come here quicker because of that. I think had a lot to do with it. But this kid is worth it. Yeah. This kid. I think it's easy. This kid was a steal, maybe. What did we bring him on for
20 years old,
200K?
250, I think. And
that's a steal.
It's honestly, they said because of how highly he's rated in the U.S. youth system and what they perceive his ceiling to be, this could be a massive steal for the Union.
Yes. Along those lines, it's literally a Philadelphia Union earns 10 or signing. A guy, not valued that much, money-wise, but he's in the youth systems.
Ton of potential.
Comes in, he's super hungry. Jim had even said, and I wrote an article about this in the offseason when there wasn't much going on, but Jim had talked about the Philadelphia Union value or a variable, the PUV is what he called it. And it's something that they've used to evaluate all of their players, whether they're on the roster or players they want to sign. And this guy fits that mold to a T. He is hungry. He goes in there, wins all those tackles, looks for the passes, starts attacks really quickly.
And he's got that quality banger quotient. That's what
you're not right.
That's what they really look for.
Quality banger quotient. That's only for center backs, and he's not a center back.
So, guys, the other thing I wanted to bring up as well last night, in both games, honestly, the youth was really evident, and obviously, we know the direction of the Union. We know this is what we want to do, but. I had someone sitting behind me, which I really wish I got his name because he was a really dope dude, but he was loving Jack McGlynn. That was the first time he's seen Jack McGlynn play. And, it's crazy to think that you had a Quinn Sullivan, a Jack McGlynn. I guess you could put Anthony Fontana in there as well.
He's still 21.
He's the veteran. He's the veteran home.
That's crazy to think.
Yeah.
And Paizo as well.
And I will say, and Tim and I talked about this during the game, and I gotta wonder, and maybe the guy who's near us was telling me, I wasn't 100% sure on whether this was true, but if anyone can clarify for me, what has been up with Paxton?
Yeah,
we had that question too.
I don't believe he's hurt. I would have heard if he had been a healthy scratch. The guy who was standing near us said it had something to do with his contract. But as far as I'm aware, it's the same first-team contract as McGlynn and Sullivan.
Yeah.
Made no sense.
If anyone knows what's up, put it in the comments because I was definitely a bit confused.
Maybe he's the next Elsinho.
Honestly, I feel like for that sort of thing, if we don't hear anything, I don't think it's anything suspicious. I think it's more so Jim picks the players that he likes in training. That's how he picks all of his team. I know it's how you're supposed to pick a team, but like it's not like, like those are the two homegrowns that are performing the best right now. So Sullivan and McGlynn, you guys got the spot this week. Maybe Paxton will get it next week. Like Jim, that's the sort of way Jim works.
We do know sometimes with this team, quiet doesn't always mean good.
You're not wrong.
There's been, as we all know, there's been certain situations with young homegrowns that you find out way after the fact. Yeah. And it was similar with Fontana when it kind of started coming out that Jim didn't believe he was practicing hard and all this stuff. And then look at like how 2020 came and it was a switch, and it was hard to keep Fontana out of the lineup. So yeah, I would love to be curious, but I'm hoping it's just like, oh, he'll get in there. It'll be like it's just early in the season,
right? But, I hope so too. I mean, like, and I'm also thinking we'll get to the Columbus match a little bit, but I'm just like thinking like what Jim is thinking about as far as this weekend. But it was great seeing those kids out there getting some valuable minutes. Like, dude, you're playing in CONCACAF Champions League. Like, that's huge. And a lot of these kids, I don't think McGlynn didn't get on last Wednesday, right?
No, this was McGlynn's debut, and he got 23 minutes.
Right, that's right. I did see that tweet.
And so did Stuart Finlay, in the back.
Hey, that's right.
I mean, it's kind of hard to judge his. I think someone asked how do we rate his performance. It's kind of hard to rate the performance when you're coming in up 3-0 like that. He came in. He didn't let in a goal. He maybe got a few touches on the ball. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Right. Yeah. I expected that. We went with like would they move Jack up to the 6?
Yeah, we've had that before. And
right.
For the limited touches I saw, he looked decent. Like, again, you have Tim. It's hard to judge because 15, 20 minutes is a small sample size unless you're scoring a goal.
Yeah.
So PJ Schaff, who's a great friend of the pod, has a really good question here. Oh, no, not this one. Sorry. This one. That was a good one too, but this one really was good. That was funny as well. Better parking, and he did correct himself. No, it actually is. No, it is 12 million. It is 12 million.
It's 12 before the incentives.
Yeah.
So not for better parking. I think our parking lot is pretty sufficient out there and at Subaru Park. But from my understanding, talking to Tim, we're going to be improving our youth system, right? Getting some more assets to improve it.
Actually, what had happened earlier this week, there was a union town hall meeting where the union's chief business officer, Tim McDermott, and Ernst Tanner talked to fans and some media about how they're going to do things right now. And one of the questions was about the money that they got for selling Aronson and McKenzie. And essentially, Tim McDermott's answer was that it's going to be basically an investment back into the academy system.
No, Tim, use the word. And this is why
I didn't commit it to memory because I think I was infuriated with the words. So
the exact word that Tim McDermott used, and this is why I said that I understood his message, but it was a very, very poor choice of words, was the word refund.
Oh, yeah.
The word refund to the academy. And I think that is exactly what set the fans off. And I've seen a lot of people, so I indulge one of my weekly rant.
Okay.
For everyone who thought that this wasn't going to be the case, what team have you been following? Now, don't get me wrong. Did Tim McDermott choose a very poor choice of words? Yes. But this is Richie Graham's baby. He's put a lot of time and money into this. You don't really get any. You're losing money on academies. That's the whole thing. It's the whole thing is that you're going to just. So if you've already with all the investment you've had, if this is because you're investing money into your academy, well. If you're using, say out of the 12 million, you use 7 and you invest that right back into your academy, then you should start producing more of these players. And then, yeah, with that remaining chunk of money, yeah, go get, as I've always said, would you rather have one Messi or would you have like 3 Monteros?
One
Like,
Messi. I mean, you said
like,
Messi. You said the wrong name.
But like, you get the idea. Like, it's the.
Yeah, I got you.
Do you want that insanely high price signing, or
The
do you want,
Balotellis.
Yes,
or do you want
that's it.
several more cost efficient players that will do that kind of work? And and to the point, PJ makes exactly the point.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal if they put it back into and they invest it. It's like, and you look at some of our star signings, have they really panned out? Like, that's the concern I have is that we don't have the best of luck with these high price signings.
Yeah.
And as much, don't get me wrong, I would love to get a Sergio Aguero.
You're going to tell me Marco Fabian's playoff goal wasn't big enough? I'm just kidding.
Well, that's the thing, and it's, and I think that's the thing, and I love our good friend of the pod, Mike Thomas. His most recent comment here. He goes, and he's right. Yes, lots could use a good taping. No, his most recent comment goes, I think most people just interpreted this as no spending, which is what caused the whirlwind, which would mean no more Montero type people. I think people took the wording as we're not spending any money. It's if the players come in, that's what it is. And I think people jump the gun on the reactions. It wouldn't be Philly if they didn't do otherwise. Yeah. But like,
would it be Philly sports now?
I don't know what people were expecting.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, for having a sport director of Ernst Tanner who makes his money on these low risk, high reward and signings, what are you expecting? Like, I get it. It would be nice to have a high price signing, but if collectively as a team your high price signings have sucked, you're going to kind of go, well, wait a minute. Why am I dropping, why am I paying this DP salary to this guy who got 2 goals on the season when I can get a guy who makes a similar salary, costs less, and does way more?
Yeah.
And I get it. The team does. I think it would be great for them to get a high price signing, especially a goal scorer. I think I would love to spend a pretty penny on a clinical finisher.
Yeah.
But I also think that it's going to happen in the summer. If there's going to be a signing, it's going to happen in the summer. I said this. I've been saying this for the last few months, and people seem to listen. If you expected a signing in this winter window, given all the restrictions, even with these high-priced signings that other teams have gotten, it's been really tough. I mean, Cincinnati overpaid for Brenner. Let's be honest there. Massively overpaid for Brenner, who is a relatively unknown quantity. So it's the prices are inflated. And I think when you start to see more stuff opening up in the summer, you're going to see more signings. And I get it. People want clarity with the signings and they want more. Don't get me wrong. I would love, and Ernst has been that's another thing I love about Ernst. He's, unlike Ernie, he's been very open about the direction of the team, about the signings, about how everything's going. But we would love to know a little bit more in terms of how the team is looking at signings. And I think that's all fans want, but I think some fans were maybe jumping the gun just a tiny bit.
I don't understand why we can't get that Ozil guy here.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, listen, these are the conversations we have to deal with some of these Union fans. Like the Union fan just wants to be that Galaxy, wants to be that LAFC. But like Justin said, like we don't really have a good history of big name signings. And right now, Ernst is freaking killing it with these guys who are like worth $300,000. Okay,
yeah,
these guys are performing in this league. And for me, when it comes to youth academy, how can you be mad at it? Like, would you be mad if we found the next Zlatan in this academy? Honestly. But that's what you have to do. It's trial and tribulation. You have to invest money to make money.
Yeah.
So I like what they're doing here. I do agree with Justin. Like, look, there is a point of the Union fans I do understand. Like, this is a team that's ready to win. I think it is ready to win. I think we have the coach, we have the mindset, we have the players for it. Still think we're missing like that one piece, and Justin nailed it. That clinical finisher, that Josef Martinez type. I always refer to Josef because that's one player. When people ask me one player in the MLS I would want on my team, it's Josef Martinez, a healthy Josef Martinez. So I would love for the Union to spend DP money on a guy like that, a name that you haven't really heard of, who has that potential and can come in here and destroy the league.
Yeah.
But that's just not happening right now. But that doesn't mean this team cannot win. This team won Supporter Shield last year with this model.
Yeah.
So give it some time, guys. I mean, mother effers, you waited 52 years for a Super Bowl. You can't wait an extra couple years for an MLS Cup? Give me a break.
I love AK Gaming with the Union want to be like Chicago Fire. We want to spend how much money on a aging international superstar for him to get like a couple goals and ask if he wants to win the World Cup with Chicago.
All right, so Kata, we're not going to explain like MLS contracts because it literally could be a whole podcast.
Yeah,
it's I can explain DP stuff is easy. If you're asking me to explain allocation money, forget about it.
Give me the
all that stuff. Nope, no. DP money is essentially so each team is allowed to have 3 DPs. DPs are the higher earning salaries. I believe the bracket is it usually above like $1 million or like 500? Like it's above a certain.
I think it's like 2 million. No
salary. Well, it depends on the team. It's a certain salary distinction. Like it has to be X amount. But so those are the players that their contracts are. I believe not that it doesn't count against the cap, but it's regarded differently.
Yeah.
And then and you'll see, it's somewhat similar to a max contract. And then the idea though, like you can only have 3. So sometimes players will be bought down with allocation money. And then that way that you can sign. It's like, when the Union got David Accam and he initially was a DP and then he was bought down with allocation money.
I can't believe it was a DP.
I was so hyped when that signing happened.
I would too because he had punished the Union so often. I was mad hype, but no, DPs are the higher and the higher.
So so like a Messi, Ronaldo come to the league, you have to offer them a DP contract because of the money they do. Yeah. And Adam, to your comment here, it's good, but it's not great. You only produce 2 players, and last time I checked, 11 players play at a time for a team on a soccer pitch. So it's good, but it's not great. And listen, the other thing that people don't remember is that the MLS does not profit as much as people do think they do.
Yeah.
For a lot of these owners, they're losing money putting these teams out, but they invest the money because of the long-term goal. They have their minds at the end of the tunnel. The people you see here on this podcast and the people you see down in Chester and the people who run the team, we all understand that this league is going to be something in this country. We all believe it. We thoroughly believe it. That's why these owners invest the money. So for someone like a Jay Sugarman who is trying to make a return on his profit, this is a way for him to make a return on his profit here by selling off some of these kids. But the hope is, listen, I'm not going to sit here and advocate for Jay Sugarman. I've been as critical as the next guy on Jay Sugarman, but that doesn't mean we haven't. Crew just almost scored a goal. That doesn't mean we haven't had nice soccer over the last 3 years. And I'm not going to trade that away for nothing. I've had some of my favorite sports memories in the last 3 years. Like sports as a whole, I celebrated in Chester. So,
I mean, Johnny,
the academy still needs work.
Think about it. Jay Sugarman needs that chopper fuel. Let's be honest. He needs that chopper fuel, and
I'm definitely critical on him.
For people who want to complain, as I say, it all started going uphill after the trash truck promo.
Yo,
Just saying that.
I've never seen this, but I always hear these stories.
I have the picture. I will send it later.
Please, because I would love to see this. I remember Mike Thomas told me the story originally, but I've never seen it.
Literally, Johnny, since that moment, this team has gone up in terms of their play. And again, coincidence? I think not.
They throw out the trash.
For anyone listening, what we're referring to, the Union literally put out a promotion before one of their games with United Trash Services, like the trash trucks you see driving around everywhere. And essentially the promotion was that you could, if you came to the game, there would be a trash truck parked outside the stadium. You could take a picture with the trash truck to win some kind of swag. I am not kidding. They tweeted it out and everything. Within minutes of them tweeting it, all of the rivals like Red Bulls and DC said, "We don't even have to make the joke. You guys just said you're trash." It was the funniest and most old school Union thing I think I've ever seen on social media.
Oh my god! It
was
so damn hilarious. Literally, you could not make it up, and that's it. It's one of those things you just go. As a social media admin, you gotta go. You gotta know. Yeah. You gotta know. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen poorly.
Oh my god. There's some really great stories. Yesterday, someone brought up the free haircuts. We want the free haircuts.
Yeah, that was great. God, that was a great promotion. Union score 3 goals, you get a free haircut from Super.
Although it was always in it was a PA, or it was never in Jersey.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
For the times I when I had hair, I was like, this is a great promotion, and they're like, the PA locations. I'm like, when am I going to Great Clips in PA?
Right. Exactly.
All right, guys. Yes, it is the biggest of fails, and it is definitely a "that's so Union" moment. Don't get me wrong; it is. That is like so chef's kiss. That's chef's kiss. Terrible. You're like, oh my lord, that's just horrible.
All right. Well, speaking of terrible, I mean, this Crew and Esteli second leg match is not really entertaining at all. But, ladies and gentlemen, your Philadelphia Union kick off their MLS season this upcoming Sunday afternoon over in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm assuming we're still playing in Matt Fryer Stadium, if I'm not mistaken.
Matt Fryer, nationally televised.
Yes,
nationally televised. So one more loss in Columbus until we start winning there every game. But 5:30 kickoff, like we said. But obviously, right now it is 0-0. In Columbus, but it's 4-0 on aggregate. So Columbus is just literally just going to try to run
down right where they want them.
So all right. So guys, it's a weird spot for us. We've never been here. We played 2 pretty important games, so we're pretty ready for this season. But I mean, these guys just put in some serious minutes right off the bat. So that's a lot. I mean, the question is, who's going to roll out there? Who do you think are we going to put out there? Obviously in goal. I'm assuming Andre is not going to sit out yet. We're going to move on. Back line. I mean, I want to say the same forward, but could this be a potential Harrell or Finley star?
I don't think so.
No, this is Jim Curtin's Philadelphia Union.
This is the same lineup we're going to run.
It'll be the same back 4. I don't know about the whole lineup, but it will be the same.
Back 4 100% will be the same.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little worried already. But, okay. And same midfield, too? You think? I think the same midfield.
I think that's where there's changes. I think
that or the forward. I think you're going to see some changes.
Yeah.
I don't know how you take Jameer out after those 2 matches.
You definitely don't.
It might be Leon.
It's either Leon. It's either Leon or Fontana if you want to start Santos up top. For me, I have Leon staying in, Fontana going back to super sub role, and Santos starting up top.
Which you gotta feel bad for Fontana at this point.
You gotta play, baby.
Season, and he's playing well too. It's not like
he plays very well, and he is a goal scoring number 10. But for how the Union play and the type of defensive acumen you need for them to kind of press back, Jamiro at the 10, if he played the way he did the last game, that's what you want every game from your 10.
I agree.
because he came back so many times to disrupt passes and then to start attacks.
Also, too, I want to start subbing Ali more often. Like, make him. You have 5 subs too. Like, make it one of your subs. Like, you don't need him out there for 90 every match.
Jim doesn't like to rotate. I don't know why.
But that's one player you might want to rotate. I mean,
I know
that guy's getting old.
When they brought in Leon, like that is essentially your. I mean, I kind of thought this, after the last 2 matches. I know it's really recency bias, but it was like, there's your Bedoya replacement when he decides to.
Do you move Leon to the right?
PJ's got a suggestion.
Nah, I don't. I mean, I hope he does get some time. But
yeah,
dude, seriously though,
it's still so hard to know what he looks like because he's not played a single meaningful minute for the Union.
But even last night, right now, Jack is the backup 6.
Yeah,
not even Orvich.
I do wonder though if you're resting Ali, do you move Leon to the right and keep Jameer on the left?
Can he play that?
Because Leon is a left-footed player.
He's a left-footed guy. Yeah, I know.
But I feel like you'd want to keep him on the left and just move.
Jameer can play on the right side. He's a right-footed guy.
Yeah, that's what my thought was.
Yeah,
I feel like Leon and Jameer need to stay where they're at right now. Don't pull a Brett Brown. Like run with the hot hand, man. Just run with the hot hand. And Leon and Jamiro got that hot hand right now. So I think, definitely think. PJ, I definitely do think, and I really want to commend my league. Like I love the fact that we actually care about player safety, unlike some leagues, NFL. But I think it's definitely great that that's for the player safety, and
that's been pushed for a long time.
Yeah, man.
Well, man. And Taylor,
no joke.
He knows. I mean, his career was cut very short. I mean, he had a decent career, but it was cut very short by concussions, and he has a foundation that advocates for concussions. And this was FIFA had to approve this rule change, and I'm glad to see that they're taking it seriously because basically it's like, okay, if you use your 5 subs and a player gets out with a concussion. Yeah. Well, you can use that sub, and then because you've used that sub, the other team can use a sub as well. So it's still even. You're still having this it's like it doesn't take away from your subs, and I like that. I think it's smart, and I really think that more leagues around the world have to start adopting this because it's player safety.
I appreciate that. Yeah, what do you think about that? Fontana at the right?
He did it last year. He did it last year. It was fun.
I could see it. I think it's.
I wouldn't be mad at it. And I just want to disrupt Jamiro at that 10 right now.
Also, we're not counting.
Does bring up a good point about the Flack Fontana Montero would be an interesting. Would you think if you're giving Ali a rest, that would be a really?
I would love it.
Is that more of an attack-minded midfield?
I mean, it's a little bit of both.
We're coming at your neck with that lineup, dog. Come on,
seriously, that's an aggressive lineup.
It is. You're right. Yeah.
This is Philly, baby. This is Philly. We like that aggression. I think Quinn is just a little too young, and you could tell. He's definitely got it.
He looked good.
He almost scored.
I did see that.
Him and Jack got right on the ball and created some chances.
Next time we'll put a little more height on that. He'll get that goal, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
The option to, as you sub people on, you have the personnel that can adapt to this scenario. Yeah. And this is what this team has done. You know what? Another thing I thought about, I didn't mention too, do you guys remember when Ernst, I think it was 2019, we were switching from the 4-2-3-1 to the 4-4-2 diamond, and everyone was like, Jim is not going to be able to coach this philosophy. If anyone's ever had a conversation about soccer with Jim is a student of the game.
Yeah,
my man is
insanely smart dude.
He's not even just looking at what's going on here. He knows what the hell's going on in Europe, and he saw this type of style of play, and he's doing a great job of putting the philosophy on the team. And I love that he's been able to adapt like this, and it's we are witnessing the evolution of Jim as well too.
I've been saying this for a while. I hope people appreciate Jim while he's here because he could be the next American coach to go over to Europe.
Speak that into existence, Justin.
Jim, in terms of American coaches,
Yeah.
Over in Europe, you have Jesse Marsh and Pellegrino Matarazzo, who people don't seem to realize.
What about
Shout
that
out
Bob
to
Bradley year?
the Jersey Italian. But it's listen. I think Jim doesn't get a lot of respect for his tactical knowledge, and I think it comes from one for being a center back, but two, he was a player under Bob Bradley.
Yeah,
Bob it requires a lot out of players, and it's clear what he's doing in LAFC. And I think Jim knows what he's doing, and I think it's going to be interesting to see. Again, as I said, with the squad, with this midfield, with the rotation, how he's going to, depending on if he wants to be a lot aggressive, he might do that Flack, Montero, Fontana midfield with Brujo at the 6. If he wants to go more defensive, you could still have Ali, quit. Like there's so many guys that, like, no matter who you're throwing on, you're still having an attacking threat.
I mean,
defensive odds,
Leon is, though, a defensive midfielder, so in that you can even see, like, if they had to shift a little bit, like he is more defensive minded than he is attack. He can play those passes, but his first job is to disrupt the passes.
You mean when Brujo never gets yellow card accumulation?
Yes.
I was worried about Jamiro yesterday because there was that one slide tackle near the end. I was like, oh, please don't miss Elena's first leg.
Yeah.
But nah, it was good. All right, so guys, I mean, I don't think I have to tell you our history in Columbus, especially at Matt Fryer Stadium. What I want to ask you, and I'll start with Tim with this one, dude. How do we break this losing streak? It's like hell for us over there.
It is. I mean, it's. I say this, I think, every time we talk about a Columbus away match, which we talked about it enough last year because the Union played there a lot. Well, it was only twice. Well, it was the 2 losses.
One of
it's the ones that stung.
Yeah. So still, I went to Columbus, to that stadium, to Matt Free Stadium, to watch a Union Columbus match back in the old dark times of when the Union were not good at all. And there's something about Columbus. The Union just can't put passes together. It seems like when they play there, I don't know what it really is.
Because no one wants to be in Columbus.
It's a weird spot too. It's, that's why they're building the new stadium in downtown Columbus, which looks like a nice actual stadium. Like this is a small, like,
actually we're in Columbus,
a small stadium on the fairgrounds out near Ohio State. You feel like you're kind of lost, and then, there's a soccer pitch. It's a historic soccer pitch. It's a historic soccer pitch. Don't get me wrong.
It's the crazy part about it.
And it was actually really cool to be there and to kind of walk around it and see that history. But, like, the Union just never play well there. But if there is a side that's going to break that streak, it could be now after winning the Supporter Shield. And I know you probably would say, well, wouldn't it have happened last year when they were winning everything and then the Supporter Shield? I don't know. This game, to me, it's hard to predict. Both teams are flying high. Columbus won MLS Cup, Union won Supporter Shield, so it's that little, Super Cup type of matchup of, best 2 teams, quote unquote, from last year facing off. To beat Columbus in their building, it has to be a perfect match. That's what it is. We know the Union style, but they have to execute perfectly. They can't switch off for 1 second or the crew will punish them.
That's really it, man. And I mean, we know this team is going to be cranking on all cylinders, and we really have to. And, when it comes to, like, with the Union not winning there, it's like the Union, the Mexican national team, not winning in Maverick Stadium.
That's it. That's it right
there. Literally. Justin, baby, break it down. How do we beat these guys? How?
I think the biggest thing is going to be stopping the connection between Nagbe and Zelarayan. Both games, we shut Nagbe down, but Zelarayan still was getting on the ball, and we allowed him the space. We allowed him that time. You have to shut down both players. Shutting down both players basically, chokes the life out of that Columbus attack. And I think if you let Zelarayan and Nagbe get going, the game's over. I mean, it's and both games were 1-0. It was both relatively close games. It's just it was always the one game it was that deflected goal. I'm sorry, the other game was 2-0, and it was like okay, 2-1. It was like okay, it was a tough game, and you had certain situations, but it was like what, you let Zelarayan get going in both games, and that was your biggest mistake. You can't let him get going. You stop him, I think you give yourself a better shot.
I agree with you. You know what's more dangerous than Nagbe and Zelarayan? El Brujo and Miro. Let's go.
I thought you were about to say Jossie Zardes.
Well, that's your striker, bro. Come on, relax.
I actually don't. No one's watching, so it's fine. I can tell you guys. I actually don't hate Jossie Zardes. So.
I don't hate him. I just don't think he's that good of a player. I don't think he's a good MLS player. I just don't.
He's a good poacher. He puts in the tap-ins, and then he doesn't. So
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you're an American, like, who's better than Zardes right now to start?
Josh Sargent. And
is he ready? You guys were telling me
Daryl DK.
Maybe Daryl DK. I think
Nicholas Giacchini. I mean, Tim Weah. I mean, I could go. I could pile a list on.
Who sorted last time?
Sargent.
I think. DK.
Yeah, one of the two. It was mostly the European guys.
So.
No one's watching. They're watching.
Oh, I know. That's why I said it that way.
Kata loves El Brujo.
What's not to love about Brujo?
I'm glad you love.
Come on. Honestly, Brujo face is a forever Union meme.
Yeah,
we'll forever appreciate El Brujo just for that, for the giving Higuain the taste of his Italian medicine.
Oh, I can't wait to see what he's got for him next week. But it's about Columbus, guys. Give me your predictions here, Justin. Break it down for me.
I'm trying to remember. I think I had this as a draw in my predictions.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 1-1. I think getting a draw in Columbus would be huge. I mean, obviously a win would be important, but I think that it's getting a draw would be in a place that you've had a tough time, and maybe with the new stadium you'll have better luck. But I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Wow. By you, Tim?
So I'm just going to preface this by saying I love it when I'm wrong in my predictions. This is sort of the same way I felt about the Saprissa match. I was like, if the Union can just get that away result and get a draw, then everything after that will be fine. So I had predicted as well a 1-1 draw, just like Justin. But I love it when I'm wrong, and I would love the Union to come in there and spank the Crew. They are, super confident right now. I know the Crew are as well, and they're playing a game right now where they're resting all their starters. But we'll see what happens there. But I think putting it on paper, my prediction is 1-1 draw to start the season.
So I love your guys' optimism, and you guys know me. When it comes to optimism, I'm all for it. I'm here for it. I can't. I can't. I literally can't. I just feel like Maffrey Stadium, we don't win there. The stadium's about to, I'm sorry, Crew fans, but it's finally about to burn down. And as a Union fan, I'm sick and tired of seeing that place. I think we lose. I think we it'll be a good one. It'll be like one of those, like, Columbus gets like an 80th minute goal. Yeah. I think it'll be like a 2-1 loss though. And I mean, guys, last year we started with a loss, and I think that season ended pretty damn well. So I will not be mad if we lose the first game of the season, as long as we beat Higuain in Miami here in Chester, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
let's go. I really hope that it's a good game, and for both teams, it's going to be tough because we both just played. So
can we please put the comment from PJ Schaaf up that he just put there? Oh my God, this is the best thing I've seen tonight.
Got that extra shine turtleneck, baby.
Just like Colin.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Let me. All right,
There
guys,
you go.
I think we're good.
Got to
Oh, wait.
black out the lights now. Yeah, there it goes. It's gone.
That's great.
Bold.
That's great. It looks like it's brightening it up here.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, guys. Listen, that was we did 2 podcasts this week, guys.
Yeah.
Listen,
Cranking out that content.
we gotta give ourselves a round of applause there. We did 2 this week.
Ooh.
We gave y'all Saprissa previews, reviews. We gave you crew preview here this week, and we ain't done. This is just getting started for us. The season's about to go full throttle. Make sure you stay tuned for Tim and Zach Labasso. I have all these articles out for you every week. Every game will have you prepared. Zach's review last night, pretty damn good.
His first time in the press box. So shout out to him. I know it was a different type of press box due to COVID, so it's not the normal press type of situation, but still he handled it like a champ. And got that article out right after the match, which is what we're trying to do. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out on PhillySportsNetwork.com right now.
Absolutely. It is still 0-0 in Columbus right now. So we hope. I mean, let's hope Columbus has to work a little bit in the second half so they can get a little tired.
It's all their backups, though. I mean, it's not all of their backups. They have a few starters in there, but. The guys that matter for Columbus are not playing in this match, unfortunately.
That's all good. At least the MLS is doing well in CCL. That's all we care about.
It's going to be a clean sweep.
Yeah, it's 5 for 5.
Clubs, which
we
like us.
Hey, if any year for MLS teams to advance far in CCL, even with the Union Atlanta matchup, like it's gonna be a big year for I think potentially for MLS and CCL.
Who would have thought COVID would have helped us in this tournament, man?
Yeah.
Crazy things, guys. Crazy things. All right, guys, we're gonna shut down here. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you watch on YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, really, seriously, thank you so much. It really means a lot to us here. We want to be your Union podcast, and this is a place for y'all to come here, talk about anything Union or soccer here. You want to learn about the sport, you come here. You want to vent about the Union, you come here. You want to talk about Justin's bald head, you come here. You want to talk about my crazy girls?
All the time for this bald dome.
He's the Aurelian Cullen lookalike. This podcast isn't a Aurelian Cullen fan club. I'm just saying. I mean, and Courtney's the president.
She is the president. I will say real quick when that comment popped up and we literally verbalized Colin, I heard from the other room, what? Like she was about to come out and she didn't. So she's yet to make
what'd you say?
My ultimate goal is obviously, once COVID and Colin's still around, get a picture with both of us wearing short shorts.
Oh, you know me, I'm down.
Who wore it better?
I'm so down.
Union faithful. Let's speak this into existence.
They want you to wear the sombrero, Justin.
Hey.
If he gets one, I get one too, though. I want one.
You know what? I actually have 2 extra ones, but they're Colombian color.
Oh, it's still fine.
Hey, whatever. I got a little flair.
I root for Colombia in World Cup. I want them to get there again.
It looks like I'm rooting for U.S. Hopefully the U.S. gets it done because I don't think Colombia's going to get it done. But
yeah, I was going to say Colombia's in a bit of
they're in trouble. Yeah, they're in trouble.
We're in a little bit of a trouble. A little bit. All right, guys. Also, too, if you want to re-listen to us, or you want to give a recommendation to a buddy out there, this is new dope Union podcast. Definitely wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, check us out there. Make sure you subscribe, a little rating as well, and a comment wouldn't hurt as well.
And I would say shouts to we got one of our first international listeners.
Hey,
my pal Lucas.
Hey,
lives in Darmstadt. A friend of who I met through Dane. Good shouts to the happy hour.
Yep.
Lucas is our we joke our thirst trap German because most of the time he shows up shirtless to the happy hour
but showing off the abs and everything.
I told him the pod. He didn't know about the pod and he listened. And the reason I kept saying Leon was because he was commenting on my pronunciation of Flack.
Did he give you a correct one? Because I still want to say it correctly.
I want to say I'll have to ask him again. I think it's Flock.
Leon Flock.
But
that makes sense.
I'll have to give him a bit of a message. Ask him to listen to the pod and see if he.
It is It's honestly not easy pronouncing some of these German names. When we did the Bundesliga's back last year, oh my god, I had to do like a little lesson because oh my god. And I remember doing the show with Ricky. He was doing his gambling show, and I had to teach him a little bit. I was like, hey man, I'm no expert, but this is what I learned. Awesome stuff, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Justin Freiberg, and that's Tim Lovinguth. I go by the name of El Parcero Philly, and we're telling you guys to do ball. Let's be Columbus. Let's go, boys. Stay going.